iPhone things with the gimbals on it.
All right, we're back. We are live in San Diego at KubeCon here in the Rancher booth. Today I'm here with Austin from LightStep. How you doing, Austin?
Hey, I'm doing great. How's it going, man?
Doing well.
Long time. It's been a couple months since I was on the Ranchcast?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was. We had to do it again.
Yeah.
And I guess we're doing it again here.
Well, yeah. So how's your conference going? What's exciting to you?
Oh, you know, I feel like it's the biggest KubeCon ever. I feel like it's the biggest KubeCon ever every year. What I find really exciting is there's been a ton of sort of maturity in the observability space, right?
Yeah.
If you people saw the keynote the other day, or the afternoon keynote, right? Liz Fung Jones and Sarah Novotny from Honeycomb and Google respectively went up and demoed OpenTelemetry, which is a project I've been working on for most of the year, and we're really excited to sort of get some code out there in people's hands and let them play around with it now that it's entering alpha.
All right.
All right.
So
where were we?
You were talking about how OpenTelemetry came to be, how there was open tracing.
Yes. There was open tracing, and then there was open census, right?
Yep.
Census was this Google project where they were open sourcing their internal census distributed tracing and metrics library, which they had integrated into gRPC. And so the existence of these two projects caused a lot of confusion in the community. And that made it kind of difficult for open source library authors, framework authors, the Kubernetes in general to say like, well, what do we pick, right? It feels like there's these two separate options and we need to pick one. So as that all sort of happened, the two communities, the leads got together and said, well, you know, this is a thing where really, you know, we can be better together, right? Yep. There's some things that open tracing does very well, there's some things that open census does very well, and what we want to be able to do is have one answer for all cloud native applications, you know, running on Kubernetes, running wherever, and sort of out of that shared goal, OpenTelemetry was born.
Okay.
So since we've started, the announcement I guess was at KubeCon EU this year that we were bringing these projects together. We formed a lot of special interest groups, SIGs, for the major languages we want to target right now. That's Java, JavaScript, C#, Go, Python.
Yep.
We also have Ruby, PHP, C++, Erlang. Getting a lot of people kind of coming into the project from outside, because the whole idea is we want to be able to provide native telemetry, right, for cloud native applications in the languages they're written in. And that includes distributed tracing and metrics.
Okay, awesome. So you work for LightStep. Where does OpenTelemetry end and LightStep begin?
So OpenTelemetry is how you instrument your applications for observability, right? Observability is, you know, a lot of people will say like, oh, that's just, you know, I get my Prometheus and I get my Elk stack and I do all this stuff and now I've got observability, right?
No.
it's a little more than that. Observability is really this practice of like, you've got all this telemetry data coming from your application, and then you need to analyze it, right? You need to be able to get insights from it. You need to be able to understand, to take those, that time series metric you've got and actually understand, well, what does it mean when this line goes up? You need to be able to have context that lets you understand how, maybe my error rate is spiking, how is that actually impacting production? How's that actually impacting my customers? And you need to be able to attach that to some sort of request so that you can drill down just from, instead of these highly aggregate, time series metrics, you want to be able to go in and say like, okay, well, show me the exact requests that are happening that have these errors, right? And that way you can quickly diagnose issues in production. You can understand like what happens when you deploy a new version of your. You can see really quickly. It's improved. Am I tracking to the SLOs I'm setting? That sort of analysis piece I'm talking about. That's where LightStep starts.
Okay.
So what we provide is something simple observability for what we call deep systems. Okay. And something that's running in Kubernetes is a deep system, right? You have a microservice-y sort of thing, so you have a bunch of different services that depend on you. You depend on a bunch of different services. And if I'm in a big sort of organization, right, how do I know that my changes aren't breaking prod for everyone else? LightStep helps you answer those questions by taking your telemetry data from OpenTelemetry, OpenTracing, OpenCensus. We also support Jaeger and Zipkin spans as well, so we're really agnostic to where the data comes from. Okay. You send that to us, and then we'll actually process it, analyze it, give you sort of aggregate metrics on what's going on. So we'll tell you, hey, this is your throughput, this is your error rate. But we'll also look at the tags that are attached to it and help you say, well, what's the top 5% of requests that have the most latency? What are they all on this particular? Are they all being scheduled to a particular host? Or do they all these requests going to the same database shard, right? That's the sort of stuff that LightStep can do for you.
Awesome. So, if I'm a developer and I want to learn more about telemetry or adding the ability to have tracing data sent out from my application, where do I get started?
Yeah. So there's a couple good places. If you want to learn more about OpenTelemetry, the best place is the OpenTelemetry website. That's opentelemetry.io. Okay. If you want to learn more about sort of using LightStep to ingest your telemetry data, check out lightstep.com. And if you want to learn more about, if you want to, we talked about a lot of stuff here. If you want to just like understand what does it look like to sort of use LightStep to use trace data to diagnose errors and issues in production, you should check out lightstep.com/play. That's an interactive demo. It's a sandbox environment where we have real data in there, and then we give you these challenges. Like, hey, there's an error, error rate on this is high, you got page. We'll help you, lead you through the product and sort of show you like how all this fits together and how tracing data and how OpenTelemetry data makes it easier for you to diagnose issues in production and improve the performance of your system.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, Austin.
Hey, thank you. Good to see you again.
Yeah. So, live from KubeCon. Until next time. Thank you.